Hey guys, so I wanted to show you the stuff that I've been kind of working on. Yeah. So there is a craft store that I go to. I'm not going to be saying it on stream, but it starts with an M, and I'll leave it at that. So usually they've been getting rid of fake flowers lately, but they've been destroying them. So they've been cutting a lot of them down. So when you look at this one, for instance, or I don't know if it's just falling out, you can see it. Actually, I think this is like the excess stuff. So they put this on a stick, and then this part falls out. So sometimes you get the string, sometimes you get this kind of stuff, whatever. I was finding them, and then I was thinking, I wonder if I could do something with that. So I have this that I put in. I did my grid system. I might have told you guys how I do it. So it's like scotch tape. I put two over here and then two over here, and it becomes like tic-tac-toe. And the way you do it is you kind of just like fill it in the spaces, and like each little square. I don't know if you guys can see it, but each little square, so you can see my little clear tape over there, has something, and I've kind of tried to make it move that way. There's something about complementary colors or like color theory. I didn't really get it, but then again, I only spent about 15 minutes looking at it. So what I did was I just shoved a whole bunch of stuff in here that kind of looked like they would go together, like this. These are like two different, I want to say berry thingy majingies, but I just put them together. And yeah, I don't know what these are supposed to be. There's actually a word for them. I know it's like a type of, like there's a flower that kind of looks like that, but I forgot what the name it was. I forgot. But anyway, so I just put this together. Some people were complaining about how in the when you saw the stream, it looked like Lewis was advertising Presto. Presto is the Amazon brand. No, he's not sponsored by them at all. That is actually our toilet paper, our paper towel. I didn't have any space to put it, so I just put it on the shelf. And once I saw people say, this one person was saying like they were talking to I think their wife or their girlfriend, and he was telling his significant other like, no, he's not sponsored by Presto or not sponsored by Amazon. I realized I really need to get rid of that box. So I put this together, and this is going to go in the space of the box. So same thing. This was just like little bits and pieces. And you could see like I have my little pine cone over here. It's not glued in. I just kind of like nudge it in there. And then, yeah, I got to balance it. It's like really a balancing act. I did the grid thing inside. This was from Trader Joe's. Yeah, they dumped it, but I saw it and I was like, hey, I can actually use that jar. And for my string lights, I kept the little plastic thing because I thought, I wonder if that's going to be useful for putting in fake flowers. It turned out to be too light, but it was actually perfect because I have like a lot of this stuff inside of the plastic. And that's what kind of like keeps it, how would I say this? Kind of keeps it upright. Like, because these things are not that long. They're actually pretty short. So I had to make the grid from the plastic cup inside. And yeah, it's like all a balancing act. Yeah, so these are fake. These are fake. You can probably pretty much tell. But my thinking is that it's not going to hopefully look too bad when it's far away in the camera shot. Yeah. And I did read that lilies are fake. I mean, lilies are toxic to cats. So those are two things. And then you guys saw this. This was already yesterday when I was on my way back home from volunteering. I saw this little cup. And it kind of reminds me of, Lewis's bike. So I picked it up and I thought, okay, I'm going to put some flowers in here. These flowers broke off, so it's just the heads. But, I thought it was a cute little cup. Yeah, I've been studying a lot or I've been studying or like looking up a lot of YouTube videos. I wanted to take this flower designing class. I think it's something like $145 for 3 classes. It's in New York, but to be honest with you, like part of me thought, okay, Erica, I like flowers, but I don't see myself always doing this or always buying stuff. I'm not a florist. There's a class that you can take It's about, I think, $1,800. I might be remembering wrong. They give you everything that you need in order to become like really a professional, go with these like big events and be able to do centerpieces and wedding bouquets and, like all the big stuff. But, and I want to learn it, but, I don't see myself becoming a florist. I don't see myself working at a floral shop. I like this stuff, but these people who are actual florists, they work pretty damn quickly. Versus me, here I am like, yeah. I think a lot of the stuff that if you do want to learn how to do this stuff, you can find it on YouTube. Absolutely, you can find it. I've been looking at Flower Juice, Flower, and then space Joos. There's also Flower School as well. She is really good. I hope I'm remembering the name wrong. I think it's Flower School. Yeah, Flower School. I'll put the links in the description. I'll put the links in the pinned comment later so you guys can see it. She does live streams. She is so freaking talented. It's amazing. And she was also sharing a video about how she prices. The woman who teaches these classes, she owns her own business. Listen to this. So what she pays herself as a florist, and she's definitely like top tier, is $25 an hour. I was thinking like, okay, if you pay yourself $25 an hour and you're charging $120 for a bouquet, how much are you really spending on the flowers? And it comes out like the flowers is only about, I think it was like something like 20 bucks. So keeping that in mind, I thought to myself, okay, so Erica, if you wanna be good at this kind of stuff, you should be able to make a $20 arrangement of flowers looks like it's worth $120. Or actually, because I don't have a wholesale price, I'm probably like $40 or so. Yeah, so that's my thinking. I want to be able to make bouquets of flowers, the big showy ones that are really thick and like it looks super freaking expensive. Like I want to be able to make some of those bouquets just so I can feel like I know how to do it, or I feel like happy that I could do it by myself. I was telling Lewis like, yeah, I know like Valentine's Day or celebrations or anniversaries, birthdays kind of thing. The guys would typically buy their significant other flowers, right? They would buy them flowers, especially Valentine's Day. You see the markup for these flowers. Goodness, I see like $75 stuff, $120 stuff, or more. Really, the sky's the limit for a lot of this stuff. And I think because I really like trying to do my hand at flower arranging, even though I'm definitely not anything close to professional. Oh, here's my other thing that I made. So you can see, this is what happens when you don't take this stuff down. So this is my other thing. Yeah, so I just made do with what I have. Yeah, I kept the price tags on here because I was really curious about it. So this is like 2 sunflowers, and this is how it was explained to me. This is how like I understand it, and this might sound really kind of buzzkilly, but it seems like a lot of this flower arranging thing is based on symmetry, and you got to know what kind of balances each other. So this is very kind of like what I've seen, like a whole bunch of things. You usually have like one going that way and you have like 2 going that way, and then you have to balance it. So if you have like one over here, you should ideally have another one over there. And it's all about having something kind of like in the similar color scheme or a related color scheme, and then you bring them all together. So when you have like a whole bunch of textures, colors, or different thingy-majiggies, like this yellow thing with this flowery thing with this thing and this one too, it somehow kind of brings it together, and it looks better than if it was just all by itself. That's what I'm saying. So this is my other one that I did. Of course, it is fake too. Yeah, I had this all by itself earlier today. Since it looks like a flower, Clinton and Oriole kept knocking this thing down, and I got so agitated. I was like, no, because I don't want them breaking glass, right? But with this hidden behind, and Lewis caught what I was trying to do. He was like, "Are you trying to hide it from the cats so that way they don't go after it?" Yeah, kind of. So yeah, it's kind of like from what I see, like some stuff spray that way and some spray this way, and then you try to have some symmetry of sorts. Yeah, so it's kind of after you see a whole bunch of this stuff, you kind of I don't want to say like I kind of get maybe like a general idea how people do it, but we'll see. So I have, let's see. Oh, and then here. Oh! Ah! Did you see that? It fell. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. But you can see my grid thing now, right? So you can see my grid thing now. You can also see how I have this has a huge balancing act. I do not want this thing getting toppled down. It did get toppled down. That's okay. So this is supposed to be the focal thing, the focal piece. And then this part, I shot it out that way, and these two pieces, I shot it out that way, and this one that way. So this goes that way, these two go that way, this one goes that way, and then my two sunflowers, which are just ahead because that wonderful craft store decided to damage it out, is over here. And I find it kind of humorous. I bumped into a diver, actually, when I was at this craft. Oh my goodness, why am I... Yeah, it's off balance, that's why, because all the weight is pushing it over to the right. That's why I don't want this to get toppled over at all. And now I have to... Come on. See, if I actually had the whole stems, this would be a lot easier to do. But here I am with just the tops. And you guys saw my little secret. It's really just the tops. That's it. That's it. But there's something kind of humorous in doing this kind of stuff. That's just me. Yeah. These sticks are actually pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. I didn't realize how expensive some of these fake things were. So this one, okay, this came in a mini bouquet. But if you look at this one, for instance, let me show you guys this. Like this little stick alone. Focus. This little stick alone is $5. And I was like, really? That stick alone is $5? What if I wanted to buy a whole bunch of these? It adds up. It adds up. So I have been just seeing what I come across and just making do with it. I thought I would be wanting to make a whole bunch of different arrangements, but I've reached that point where I think I'm pretty much good on a lot of stuff. If I find other things, great. If I don't find anything, that's totally fine. Since I already have 1, 2, 3. Oh, and here's my sad one. He was all by himself. He was all by himself, but we're gonna see how this thing works. This thing is so finicky because it keeps moving. See, it keeps moving that way, so this is truly a balancing act over here. It is truly a balancing act. No, I don't want to put water in it. I just don't have to knock it down. As long as it doesn't get knocked down, it's really fine. But if someone knocks it down, then yeah, it is what it is. Thankfully, it's just a few pieces, so I'm not too worried about it. See, it's just super easy to put together. One over there, two over there, one over there, two things here. That's it. What's that? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 things. And this is dried. I don't know what this is, but this actually looks legit. Like it's, if you look closely at it, it's glue gun. Do you see that? This thing is glue gunned on here. It is glue gunned on there. But I like this thing over here. There is a famous floral shop. It's called, or floral supply place. It's called Jamali's. I've heard conflicting information about it. Some people say you can just buy anything. Other people say that you're supposed to spend at least $25. I don't know how it is really, but you know, if you're not like a florist, or if you don't have one of those floral thingy majingies, floral licenses. But that information could be wrong. So that Jamali's place, they have things like floral knives. There's basically these cutters that they do. And I didn't realize this. Okay, listen to this. So for florists, they actually tend to use a little it looks like a pocket knife to cut the flowers. I always thought they use scissors or clippers, but that's not the case. They use a floral knife because it's easier and it's super sharp, and then it also allows them to cut the bottom of the stems at axis. So when you look at like a lot of flowers, let me pull one. Hold up, let me show you guys this one. One moment. Okay. So this is a real one. I got this yesterday. Look at this. It looks like crap already because I didn't put flower food in here. But you see how like this one is cut across? If you have a floral knife, when you cut it, you can cut it at an angle. And the reason why you cut it at an angle is because it allows it to sit on the bottom of the vase and still take in water. See, for years I always thought they cut it at an angle just because they wanted to cut it at an angle. I didn't think that when it touches the bottom, if it's angled, you still have water going into it. Versus this one, you see like there's not going to be too much water if it's like up this way. Yeah. So I want to go over to Jamali's, but I usually when I go over to Manhattan, it's kind of late, so they're definitely closed by then. I would need to work on some flowers. It's not a really big priority for me. I just see this as like really one of those little minor little hobbies. I'm not, I'm like I said, I'm not looking into becoming a florist at all. I'm not looking into doing this as a side business or anything. I just really like handling flowers or trying to handle flowers time to time. And yeah, I'm curious to see what Jamali's has and do my own thing. So I also found Floral Form. I think there's a brand of floral foam and it's called Oasis. This is not Oasis. This is Floracraft stuff. So you can see that this thing got damaged out. I'm not too worried about it. At all because this is just like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to be fiddle-faddling with it. I do not know when I will be using Floral Form though because I'm kind of on this dry flower kick or fake flower kick. I don't want to be buying fresh flowers all the time, especially if it's just gonna last a few days. There are some tips that I was reading how to make flowers last a lot longer. You use sprays, like there's this one spray called Crowning Glory. It locks in the hydration of the flowers. And one thing I kind of want to show you guys, and yeah, I think maybe I'll buy a bunch of flowers and I could do a side-by-side comparison for you guys so you can see it. Is there a difference if I put some kind of like actual florist stuff inside of like the water and also spray it on top versus if I just use flower food and treat the flowers how like a normal consumer would? I think there definitely is, but I'm curious to see what that big difference is. You guys know that one of the things that I really, really hated about one of my favorite flowers, hydrangeas, is that they wilt super quickly. Hydrangeas need a lot of hydration. I didn't realize that if it starts getting wilty, you can do things like, listen to this, put the tip in boiling water. You put the tip in the boiling water and somehow like the water shoots up and then you kind of like shorten the length every so often. I didn't believe that, but that's what I've heard. You can also use things like, I think they say like use this thing called like quick dip that helps a lot. So there's different like floral tips or florist tricks you can use to make the flowers last longer depending on what it is. But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I didn't see chat. Hold up, you guys. No, no, no. I'm not opening any flower shop. No, I don't ride any of his. I ride on his e-bike, but I don't operate the e-bike. You will never see me drive an e-bike. Yeah. So, Armor brings up a really good point. between live and fresh flowers as a gift, I rather get a live plant. And that's just because a live plant lasts a lot longer. Even if I, try to do all these like florist tips or tricks to make the flowers last longer, they're gonna eventually die. Roses die. Yesterday I picked those things up at my little food distribution thing that I volunteer at. It looked so much better yesterday. You can already see that it's kind of dying. Part of the reason is because I didn't use any flower food. One of the best flower foods that I've heard to use is this stuff. It's called Crystal. So this comes with the Trader Joe's flowers. And this makes a huge, huge difference. Since I am drawing it, I thought, okay, no big deal to me. I'm not gonna really open up the flower food just because to use it. I kind of want to see, I kind of want to have like live flowers, or not live flowers, but fresher flowers, and then use the thing. Right now, like some of the flowers that I take in, like they wilt super freaking quickly. I've heard that for drying flowers, you're not actually supposed to be doing this like this. So you see how this flower, for instance, it looks like it's kind of dying already. Yeah, I really should hang this up to dry, because if I wait too long, it's just gonna look like absolute shit when it dries. So I'll probably pull out all the roses, or definitely at least the pink flowers, and hang them up upside down and see how that goes. In a month, it should be pretty good. Yeah. So live plant is better than fresh flowers, but fresh flowers, I think a lot of people like receiving fresh flowers. It depends. Like there's a pros and a cons list. Live plant, you only get maybe a few colors in there. Cut flowers, you can have like a whole bunch of variety, right? Like a mix and match sort of thing. Yeah. There are floral classes in New York City. I could take some if I wanted to. My stance, though, is I rather watch YouTube videos. And the reason why I rather watch YouTube videos is I can pause it where I want to. If I want to refresh, I can go back to the videos. It's great to go to a class. I know there's a bunch of people who are absolute noobs, and they've never handled things, let's say like a floral or florist knife before, or they're not familiar with a lot of things like maybe gridding. If I take a class, I want to be more familiar with or more comfortable with certain things before I take a class, before money is spent on that sort of thing. Even though I, want to just make this like a little hobby, I don't want to go into a class as a complete noob. Like, oh, okay, I don't know what to do. This kind of stuff, I've been looking up flower arranging for about, I would say, 2 to 3 hours a day. So I've probably spent about a good 10, 10, 10, 13 hours just looking at flower videos, trying to understand stuff. I have a Word document with with a bunch of flowers that I find to be interesting. There's like I have a really bad memory when it comes to certain flowers. There's oh my goodness, see, I kind of remember it, but if I have like a Word document with the pictures, it kind of refreshes my name, refreshes the name for me. Yeah, I don't know how florists do it. I don't know how florists kind of remember all these different names of these flowers. I'll remember it for maybe a couple hours and then I'll forget. So it really helps me to have it written down. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people actually do that. They kind of they do, I've heard about the cutting thing. They kind of make sure that it keeps going on and on and on. And there's like heirloom seeds that people pass forward. Yeah, I've heard about that. So I just wanted to share with you guys what I have been doing lately. You will see a big difference in Lewis's background of his stream. You'll see more of these kind of flowers. This is going by the bed, by the way. This one is going by the bed. This long one is going by the bed. see that? I gotta watch out. This is that kind of stuff, you know, other YouTubers would not show, right? People would not live stream it. They'd be like, I want to show you my awesome thing. And then whatever, if it starts tipping, they would probably edit that out. But here I am having my flowers like fall over. And I'm like, whoops, 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 whoops. So this one you will not see. This one is going in the closet. This one goes in the closet. This one goes over here. This one you will see on stream. Ah! Look at that freaking pine cone. Yeah, this one you will see on stream for sure. And I don't have to take care of it. So this is really wonderful. You can see all these little pieces. It is really a balancing act. Yeah, I wish I could tell you like, yeah, this is super sturdy, but once I put this on a shelf, I don't anticipate it falling down, right? Like you just kind of like balance it, and it'll be okay. It will be okay, and nobody would know that it is balancing act and things like that. As long as it doesn't get knocked over, it's fine. No, nothing is gonna knock over that shelf. Yeah, this freaking pine cone is so much heavier than the other stuff. That's why it's over here. Look at that. Look at the pine cone. They put like a little plastic bit on this pine cone. Okay, pine cone, you go there. Balancing act, balancing act. So we will see how this thing goes. I really want to show you how oh my gosh, do you see that? You see that? I really want to show you how things look like after I have all the flowers that I want arranged. And all the dried ones. That one arrangement that I picked up from Manhattan, I have it hanging upside down. Lois is on the chair right now, so I'm not going to show you it. Yeah, he is busy, so I don't want to get in his way. But, come on. There you go. There you go. And this one, yeah, we'll put it back over here. Come on, go back in there. I don't know why I'm actually balancing this, because this is all going to drop off, and I'm going to have to fix this. Uh-oh. My food rescue thing said something. Hold up. What did they say? They need people to put eggs in the fridges. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to help out with that one. It's another location, and I'm over here, and I don't have transportation. Yeah. So I think it looks pretty good. I was really surprised how I think it looks pretty good. So this rose thing was one whole thing. This stuff, you can see the leaves were just free, and these I just kind of like poke these through. I have like 3 different foliages, or I think that's how you say it, like 3 different things. No, 2, 1, 2, and then these thingies poking, and then this thing poking. And I just tried to make it look nice. And I think I did, you know, at least I'm happy with it. I want to see how I am at flower arranging in the future. I'm very, very curious, because I think that as long as I keep working at it, I will just get better and better and better. And yeah, we will see. I'm happy about it. This is something I like a lot, because when I see the end result of it, it makes me happy. Flowers are known to make, you know, brighten moods, depending on the arrangement. It's supposed to either like comfort you or soothe you, or have like this energizing effect. So for instance, right, this thing, from what I've heard, you see how it kind of shoots up vertically? It's supposed to have an energizing effect, versus if it was kind of horizontally, that's more calming. Yeah. Calming, like, think, I know this sounds really morbid, but imagine like one of those casket sprays. You know, the horizontal ones? Yeah, casket sprays. So we will see, you know. I want to work on like a dining room table spray, or something like a mantelpiece. Of course, it would just be all fake flowers. I don't want to make a mantelpiece and spend all that time, and then I have to throw it away in a week or so, or keep changing the water. Yeah, we'll see. But I'm really, really excited about this kind of stuff. Check this out. Check those YouTubers out, or those YouTube channels, if you want to learn floral design. There's also this one person, his name's Michael Gaffney. has really, really, really cool stuff. He has this product called Flower Crazy, and it's supposed to make it like idiotically simple to arrange flowers. Idiotically simple. It looks like a really good product. I haven't bought it, and I don't know if I'm going to buying it because part of me wants to see, can I develop the skill to make a really good flower arrangement without using, um, a guide where I have all these like preset holes. Can I do it myself? But, maybe in the future I will buy it, and if I do buy it, I will let you guys know. At the time being, I thought about it. I don't think I'm gonna buy it, but it looks like a really good thing to buy if you do want to spend the money on it. I think it's like $40 for two different vases, or two different like plastic vases, and it looks so much better when you do it. Let me find it. Can I find it? Yeah, let's see. Come on, where are you? Okay, so here it is. Okay, so like I said, this is not sponsored. I didn't even buy this thing, but I just want to show it to you guys because I think it's super cool. Let me show you guys. This is so unprofessional. It's kind of funny. Okay, so it comes in like a square box, and then these boxes actually have holes in them. Do you see that? So it actually has holes in it. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. It has these like stencil holes in it. Damn it. You guys can't see it. Come on, zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, so it has these holes in it, and then you just stick the flower in there, and then it'll look super professional. So it's supposed to be really idiot proof. It'll say things like cut the flowers at, let's say, like the 8-inch mark for each one, and then you just put it in the holes, and then you end up with like a really good looking bouquet or so. Yeah, see, like something like that. And it's supposed to be idiotically simple, and I do believe it is idiotically simple. You get, I think, two of them. Yeah, so you get the cylinder one and the square one. Like I said, I'm not I'm not sponsored by this in any way. I just thought it was a super cool product. When I first got into this, when I saw it, I really thought about buying it. Since I want to learn things and not have to use one of those things, I probably will not be buying it. But, who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I would recommend, though, that if anybody is interested in like floor arrangement and they don't want to spend all this time kind of thinking about angles or heights, and yeah, like I said, I'm not even that great at it at all. It's definitely a learning process for me. Buy something like that. I think it would help you a lot. A lot of this stuff, from what I'm picking up about flower arranging, it's all about the angles, it's all about the heights. You're supposed to follow like a certain guideline for certain things. Like some flowers are like 1.5 times the vase height. A lot of the instruction videos that I see, they don't mention the heights at all. They will they'll show you how to put it together, but they won't be, it's like they just know exactly where to cut. Because, they just have that experience versus, a person who is not trained or is a complete noob. They would be thinking, oh crap, how tall do I make it, where should I cut? It's a tough thing. So yeah, but knowing certain things, I think that I'm just gonna be playing around with a lot of flowers, and yeah, curious to see how that is. Yeah, looks like something you could just make. Yeah, I think you could just drill holes, but allegedly the way it works is that there's a whole bunch of patterns, so it's not just one single hole pattern. There's like different hole patterns, and then depending on the flowers you use, they tell you like use this one for the roses or use this one for this kind of arrangement, and it's super simple. I think that if you do want to make like a whole bunch of flower arrangements, you don't want to spend time on learning how to do this stuff. You don't want to spend time gridding it or kind of, adjusting the heights of flowers. Then buy something like that. You would be getting a lot of value from it because you wouldn't have to worry about adjusting angles and things like that. It's kind of like a grid system. But I haven't seen any reviews on it. Of course, the inventor himself, who is highly respected, he has reviews on it, or he shows how to do it. It's been on QVC, but on YouTube, I don't think I saw any person kind of reviewing that stuff, which I was really surprised. You would think that if it was on QVC, you would see tons of reviews, right? You see so many reviews on things like on QVC. Those like little baking, those brownie pans, for instance. I've seen a bunch of reviews on those. A lot of as seen on TV stuff, I've seen that. But for whatever reason, I can't seem to find a review on the Flower Crazy, except that's the one that's from the inventor himself. But I really do believe it is a really good product. Is that the cat or is it Lewis? That is probably Lewis. Yeah, I think he's brushing his teeth right now. Versus me, I'm just streaming. I'm not recording you. It's still facing the flowers, but people can hear you. They can hear you gargling or something. What? Now I'm demonetized. Great. Why are you telling people what you're doing? I thought you were gargling.
I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah, you can brush your teeth.
You want to talk about gargling something?
Disgusting. 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 Yeah, sorry, we have an out of control influencer over here. I remember you got so much criticism from this other YouTuber, some Northridge guy. Remember that one? Maybe you guys do. Covered up. Covered up with the MacBook. Lol. Lol, lol, lol. Okay, you guys. I will talk to you later. Looks like the influencer is going off to bed. He's going off to bed in the... I know. I gotta move all these flowers away. Nope. I don't know why I rearranged this thing, because now I'm going to have...
pick you up and take you away.
What? You're gonna pick me up?
Yep. You have no say in the matter.
What do you mean I have no say in the matter? What? Ah! What? Wait, I don't have Oreo. Oh, are you grunting? Oh my goodness.
Gained weight.
I gained weight. I've been working out 3 times a week.
I met you when you were much lighter.
No, you met me when I was flabbier.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Easy there. Easy there.
Huh.
I think you need to take more protein shakes.
Ah.
Look at that. Good. You'll catch your breath. Can you believe that guy works out? I can't believe he works out. Hear that? Out of breath. Out of breath. Okay, so I need to put all this stuff back. I just wanted to show you without going all around the apartment. And, yeah, I think I'm going to have to rearrange this. It's looking a little flat. Yeah, this thing, I'm a little embarrassed to say this to you guys, but I've spent a good 30 minutes trying to make sure this thing looks perfect. I'm always thinking like, oh, I think it needs more height somewhere. Oh, it needs more height. And then finally when I got it perfect, I decided, hey, let me stream it to you guys. Let me show you what I've been working on lately. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's the best it's gonna be. I'm gonna go over to Manhattan tomorrow, so you might see my stream from me. We will see. Also, in case you were wondering about my updated video about talking to the detective at the SVU, I rescheduled with them. They gave me a call on Saturday, and I told them, I said, I'm pretty tired right now. Can I reschedule you? Can I schedule with you over the sometimes on the weekday? Since that's when I'm gonna be on Manhattan. So on Wednesday, I'm gonna meet up with them and then tell them, tell them what happened. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to identify the jerk. I really don't. He was wearing a face mask. It was late at night. But I want to share my experience with you guys and let you know exactly how it goes. There are not too many people out there who not only report things but have to in my opinion, I don't think there's too many people out there who report things and then talk to a detective at a separate building. And I want to share with you guys my experience. I've said this before my previous stream, I'll say this again. If you are in a situation where something happens to you and your mind blanks out, the first thing you should do is just kind of remember autopilot, call the police, and try keep your distance from the person and keep your eye on them. In hindsight, like I wish I kind of follow them and then I call the police, but my mind completely blanked out. And it's a pretty common thing to have happen to a person, especially if something like that never happened to them before. And yeah, so it made me feel kind of bad when I was kept getting questioned at the police station, like, why didn't you do this or why didn't you do that? And it made me completely understand why some people do not, if something happens to them and they report things to the police, why they might be apprehensive of reporting another incident to the police. Just, yeah, it just makes someone feel bad, like they didn't handle the situation correctly. And even if they're going to the police, it's like, okay, well, why didn't you do more at the time instead of making the police job hard? Now, yeah, so no. What happened? Yeah, you didn't. Okay, so what happened is that after I did my streams, I was streaming you guys about me, finding this like stash of sandwiches. After I ended the stream, I thought to myself, hey, let me look at the other bags. So I looked through the other bags, and then after I finished looking through a bag, I back up in this, I realized there's this guy right behind me, and then his hand brushes, I'm wearing leggings, right? So his hand brushes inside in between my legs. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, maybe, he's like way too close. Maybe he didn't know I was backing up behind. So, I'm kind of like weirded out, and I say something, but he says, oh, sorry, I thought you were my girlfriend. I'm thinking like, what the this is weird, right? I I see the guy. I watch the guy and he crosses the street, and I think, God, that's such a weirdo. And then when I see it cross the street, I think, oh, okay, I'm completely fine. So I continue, looking through other stuff, thinking the guy is away. But when you're undoing stuff and when you're so focused on trying to undo knots or looking through things, I lost my sense of surrounding. And what I didn't realize is until I felt like a hand go up to, up to like my butt crack. Yeah, so like right on top of my butt crack. Yeah. So I felt a bare hand, and so it's underneath my leggings, it's underneath my underwear. And I yell out like, what the fuck? And then he says, sorry. He crosses the street, and at that point, like, I blank out. I'm like, frick, what do I do? So I start streaming it, and then I realized, shit, I should probably call the police. I should probably tell Lewis about it. So I call Lewis up, and then by the time I, bring up his number and call him up to tell him what's happened, that's only about like 15 seconds or so or less. I look up and I lost the guy. Yeah, so I tell Lewis about it, and he wants to find the guy, and we go up about 5 different blocks trying to find the guy. But the problem with New York is that there's so many subways, you guys. There's so many subways, so many places you can turn, and he could have easily just walked down to the subway. Yeah, so I lost track of him, and like I went to the police station afterwards. And yeah, it's kind of embarrassing that that happened, for sure. And I know that, I know like someone like that, they definitely did that to other people as well. Definitely. This is not that guy's first time. And I wish that I had called the police sooner, or better yet, while I'm following him, make that phone call and keep a safe distance, because my thinking is that because I did not keep him in my line of sight, it's very possible that the next day, or maybe even the same day, he did that to another person, and most likely probably a woman, right? So yeah, so that is what happened. No, he didn't take anything from me. He didn't take anything from me. He didn't take anything from me. So I was talking to someone, and they told me that they were kind of in a situation where they were alone with a guy, and yes, they could have done all sorts of things as well. But when you are in that kind of situation where you're alone with a person, the main thing that kicks into your brain is survival. It's not, hey, let me try to make sure that I can keep an eye on this guy, or hey, let me fight my way against this guy. It's really making sure that you don't get hurt. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to follow him, too closely. I thought, frick, what if this guy turns down a dark alley? I follow him. I'm alone with him in a dark alley. The guy was about 250 pounds. He was like 5'8", 5'10"-ish. So yeah, I cannot go after a guy who's 250 pounds. And if I kick him or I punch him, it's gonna do basically nothing. So yeah, it happened like around like 9:45 p.m. or so on, I think, Friday night, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Friday night. Yeah. So it's definitely something that kind of spooked me, but it's a good lesson. It's a really good lesson, and I'm sharing it with you guys because I do not want this to happen to anybody else, or if this does happen to someone else, to no fault of their own, right? Make sure you know what to do. Make sure you call the police. Make sure you keep a safe distance. And even if people tell you things like, why didn't you punch him? Why didn't you kick him? Like, do not feel bad about it. Yeah, so I'm going to be making a longer video on this. Let's just say that when I spoke to the police officer at the station, there was a moment that I wanted to just walk out, because I thought to myself, I did not come in here to feel worse about not doing something more at the time. Most important thing is I'm safe and I'm away from the guy, and it sucks that the guy, got away, but I don't feel comfortable, punching someone. I don't feel comfortable kicking someone who is twice my size, who is bigger than me. I mean, if I got tackled, that would have been game over for me. Absolutely. This is the thing, like, I didn't hear this person come behind me. Keep in mind that when you are in a city, you hear all sorts of noises around you. You hear cars, you hear people, it's not like it's dead quiet. No, it was a local precinct. So yeah, they were telling me all this cop was telling me this stuff. The person from SVU, the detective that I was talking to, I can't make a judgment, but he seemed like a really friendly guy. I felt like the sense of judgment coming from that one cop that I spoke to at the station, and it really kind of saddened me. It really saddened me, and I think, like, what happened to me was relatively, let's just kind of just say this outright. This was kind of minor. He felt the top of my butt. That was it. Not even the top of my butt crack. So not even my butt crack, like the lower of my back. And that was it. there are women out there who have worse things happen to them. And I can't help but think, right? What if something happened to a woman, something, something happened, worse happened to a woman, she goes to the cops, and she takes maybe like an hour or two to report to the cops because she's dazed or confused. And then the cop asks her, why didn't you do more? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? It's just, it would just make, it would be kind of like crushing to a person, right? And the other thing too is that the person that I was talking to was a woman. So you would think, like, if you talk to a woman, the woman would be kind of be like, oh yeah, it's, like, as a woman, like, you kind of have an idea how to speak to other women. You probably should be more warm, or I don't want to say understanding, but you know what I'm saying, like, more, I don't want, like, maternal, um to other women if something happened to them and they're coming forward to report something that's embarrassing, or but I didn't feel that really. I felt like a lot of judgment, and yeah, she gave me good advice for the next time, but it's just like, I don't think I'll forget for a while, being asked, like, why didn't you punch him? Why didn't you kick him? Yeah, so yeah, but I would not recommend to anybody, and this is, after thinking about this quite some time, I would not recommend to anybody, if you are with a person who is double your size and significantly bigger than you, taller than you, not a good idea to punch or kick them if you can get away from them safely. That's all. So, yeah, it looks like who is wants to end my stream, so I will talk to you guys later. And yeah, hey, I'm ending the stream. What? I'm ending the stream. Why? Everyone's gonna hear you grunting. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm still on the ground, you guys. What? Did you run out of gas already? Oh goodness. I'm just gonna walk over. What? My 2 feet are on the ground, you guys. What? What are you doing? This is strange.
Chubby.
Chubby? Who's chubby? Okay, you know what? I'm like 115 pounds last I checked. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What?
good. Yeah.
What are you doing?
You a big girl.
I'm big.
Damn.
I'm not big. What? Hey, I'm going into the door.
You're not going into the door.
Put me down, put me down, put me down.
What door?
Huh?
What door?
My face almost hit the handlebars. Oh
Oh.
my god. No!
Alright.
What? I gotta end my stream. Yes.
That's straight.
Let it stream. What? No way. What? Okay, after this, I'll stream it and people can listen to you.
They can hear me have sex with you.
What? You know what? I'm gonna go on your live random channel and let people listen to that. Because I know people on the live random channel love you and they don't really love me as much. Yeah, I'm thinking about streaming him sleeping on his live random channel. Whenever I went on his live random channel, I got downvoted to oblivion. Like, you have all these hardcore Lewis fans who was like, I don't want to see anybody except Lewis. That's it. Like, nobody else.
They have taste.
They have taste. Okay, well. Looks like someone really needs to sleep. I think he's feeling under the weather. I think he overexerted himself for lifting me too. I don't know why you say I'm chubby. I'm like 115 pounds, 117 pounds tops.
And I'm 6'3", blonde and blue eyes.
You are? Really? I don't know. Okay. See ya, guys.